Hey everyone, welcome back to another segment of the MCR. Before we get into the topic of this segment, we would just like to express a sincere and heartfelt thank you to one of our subscribers. He notices that we always wear hats, so he kind of provided a few. If Mac, if you could fill in the
Yeah, we'll
details
just
here.
call him Patriot Phil. We just want to give him a shout out and a thanks for some hats he provided that I will be wearing in the upcoming videos. They're really nice. We often get comments on our hats and flags and such. So thanks to Patriot Phil.
Yes, and I am a hat guy. Mac, I'll tell you, I have a certain weirdness in my standard of proper hat etiquette.
Right.
So, anyways, on to the topic of this segment. I wanted to talk about. Everyone knows by now, President Trump was on CNN for what was supposed to be a town hall, but evolved or devolved into a debate with him and the CNN moderator, Caitlin Collins. It was almost like someone in the audience would ask a question, he would give an answer, and then she'd argue with him about the answer to whatever was asked. Okay. You know, and it was supposed to be a 90-minute town hall, and CNN was getting their derriere kicked so badly that at 70 minutes or 70 some odd minutes, they threw in the towel. You know, and I remember listening to Gallagher and Bongino and a couple others, and there was concern. Is CNN setting Trump up to take him out or take him down? And how will he fare? And will he do very well? And honestly, I think he was classic Trump, the Trump we all know and love. And Dan Bongino has referred to President Trump as the political apex predator. Clearly, CNN didn't understand this. Your thoughts so far on this, Matt?
Well, they're always looking for an aha moment, and we're old enough to remember when there were real journalists who would ask a follow-up question, perhaps, but they weren't there to debate the person they're interviewing or having a town hall with. You just didn't see that from Walter Cronkite and others.
Well, I have to suspect that this Caitlin Collins, she was probably hoping to make a name for herself. Well, you know what? She may have made a name for herself in the worst way possible.
Right.
Afterwards, like that night and the following day, the media was in complete meltdown. Why did CNN do this? Why did CNN give Trump the chance to do what he did? And, CNN had really good ratings. They had, I want to say, over 3 million watch.
Well, that's what I was going to say. After there wasn't any Trump to kick around anymore, their ratings fell through the bottom. So they want to get that back.
Yeah. It's reported that they had 3.3 million viewers, which was well above what they normally get during that it was at 8 p.m. And they say basically it's easily surpassed Fox News at that time. But Anderson Cooper came out the next day in his 360 show with a very interesting statement, and I'd like to. I tried to get the full transcript of it because it's on video. You can watch the whole thing on video, but I wanted to get a transcript of it so that I could read and comment on it. And I believe I have a fair amount of what he said. I don't know if I have the full transcript though, but he begins with Anderson Cooper in his 360 begins with, many of you think CNN shouldn't have given him any platform to speak. And I understand the anger about that. What? So he's not allowed to speak?
Yeah, they'll decide who has the right to speak and who doesn't. And it says an awful lot about the mindset of the left and the mindset at CNN, which is the same thing, of course.
Yeah, and it says giving him the audience, the time. I get that, as if he kind of understands. He shouldn't have been allowed to speak. Okay.
Well, they would like to parallel it, for instance, with let's give Charles Manson an audience to rant and rave his nonsense.
Yeah. He would continue. The man you were disturbed to see and hear from last night. So obviously he was saying this the next day. That man is the front runner for the Republican nomination for president. Now that's accurate. In fact, he may have just solidified that with this CNN town hall.
Mm-hmm.
According to polling, no other Republican is even close. I would agree with that too, I think.
Well, who are we talking about that's official? Larry Elder? I mean, come on.
Well, they say because they referenced Governor DeSantis, who is at number 2, but as of right now, Governor DeSantis isn't that close to Trump in the primary polls for the Republican.
Well, they're running against phantom candidates.
Yeah. And then Cooper continues saying, do you think staying in your silo and only listening to people you agree with is going to make that person go away, that person being Trump? Mm-hmm. He's got a point. Hey, you guys,
And that point is for both sides.
Yeah. If we only listen to those we agree with, it may actually do the opposite. Okay. I believe he was saying this in an effort to wake up, the CNN viewer, those on the political left with him. That's what I believe this was intended to do. Okay.
Yeah.
He continues, it was certainly disturbing to hear that audience because, Anderson Cooper, along with a fair amount of the media and CNN's audience, they didn't like the way the people were clapping at what Trump was saying. How dare they clap at his retorts, his answers? Anderson Cooper continues, young and old, our fellow citizens, people who love their kids and go to church, laugh and applaud. Now, here's where we take exception. Laugh and applaud his lies and his continued defamation of a woman who, according to a jury of his peers, he sexually abused and defamed. And he's talking about that Jean Carroll or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Right.
The woman who can't remember the date and time and even the most basics of what allegedly happened. And because this was held in New York City, well, yeah, they're gonna find in favor of her complaint,
Period.
and awarded her, I want to say, like $5 million.
She could sit down and say, I think he did it. I don't have any evidence whatsoever. Please give me some money, and she'd get it.
Yeah, because he's such a boorish brute. Maybe President Trump says he didn't know her. It's possible they crossed paths and he just rubbed her the wrong way, and now she's going to show him. You know what? I don't know. But here's the thing: she can't remember the date and time it's allegedly to have happened.
Well, I don't know why she did in New York. I don't know why she just didn't make it up.
Well, perhaps she did.
I mean, the dates. She could just make them up and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Later on in Cooper's rant, Anderson Cooper, the audience that upset you, that's a sampling of about half the country. They are your family members, your neighbors, and they are voting. And many said they are voting for him. I believe that was a call to action. Remember how some Democrat politicians get in their face, blah, 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 So if you have a family get together, find out who your family members are voting for,
Yeah. And shun them.
Yeah. That man you were so upset to hear from last night, he may be president of the United States in less than 2 years. It can happen again. It is happening again. He hasn't changed and he's running hard. Well, as if that's a bad thing,
Yeah, well, in their mind it is because...
Yeah, in their mind it is. Cooper continues, have the power to do something about it. You can actually get involved. You can make a difference. whatever side of the aisle you're on. Uh, and I would say that's pretty much about it. Uh, one last thought. CNN's new CEO, Chris Licht, Lict, it's reported that he kind of took to task an Oliver Darcy for being so emotional during the coverage of the Trump town hall. I don't know exactly what happened, but it appears this Oliver Darcy was in full tantrum mode, and Chris Licht, the CEO of CNN, didn't like it.
Well,
So
it shows bias. I mean, the bias is obvious to anyone, but I mean, that's clearly, if you're going to cry or do whatever this guy did, and I don't know, I didn't see it because I don't watch CNN. I haven't watched CNN in probably 30 years.
I don't have cable, so I wasn't able to watch it. I did anticipate getting a fair amount of snippets, either from Gateway Pundit, The Right Scoop, or whatever, and I pretty much did. I was kind of able to piece together most of what. Well, even though Anderson Cooper came out the next day, I kind of had to piece together what all he said. But yeah, they're in, the media's in full tantrum mode. Well, I'll tell you what.
I saw a clip from CNN that said this town hall proves Trump is crazy. So there you go. If you don't think like them, you're crazy.
Yeah. I think one of the things that might have frustrated the CNN moderator and her ilk was, for instance, someone in the audience asked, what was he going to do about the the soaring energy prices? And his answer was very short and to the point. Drill, baby, drill. Did we not hear that back during Obama's presidency?
Yeah.
You know, when Obama was shutting down drilling facilities and whatnot. So, of course, he goes, drill, baby, drill. And the audience applauded. And there was another comical exchange. It had to do with the debt ceiling. I guess when President Trump was in office, he had made a comment about it shouldn't be used as a wedge, political wedge. And Caitlin Collins says, you said that when you were president. You're saying it again now. Why? And he goes, because I'm not president. So, as I like to say, how do you argue with that logic? But it was just classic Trump. At one point, he says to Caitlin, "You're a very nasty person," and he does it with his Trump mannerisms, and the crowd laughs, and I think that's what kind of fired up the left was, he mocked Caitlin, and the audience laughed about it, and who does he think he is to mock us on national TV?
Yeah, who are they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are they to mock us?
So it was, I think in retrospect, Trump did not let us down. I think he did. I wasn't sure what was going to happen other than it turned out better than I would have guessed or expected, And that's all I got for this one. Any final thoughts?
Nope. Covered it pretty well.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your support. And we'll catch you in the next one. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.